Hey, good evening, everyone. Time for another take on some awesome real estate strategies. And today I'm going to specifically talk about a tax saving strategy. And this is not the typical, it is related to depreciation, but it's not the typical argument that you hear. It's actually a cool strategy. In fact, I'll name the strategy later. Let me just explain a little bit first. First, this is a strategy that could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars per year in taxes. It kind of depends on a few factors, but I'm going to give you an example. I have a friend, a close friend of mine, and a mentor of mine, and him and his wife purchased a motel in northern Wisconsin for $1.2 million. Okay? And they use this strategy. And because of this strategy, in their first year, their first full year paying taxes, my friend was able to reduce his taxes on his W-2 job so that he got an extra $3,000 a month in his pocket, in his bank account, that it used to automatically just go straight to the government, right? And because, as many of you know, and maybe you don't know, right? I mean, these are things they don't tell you in school. You get your job, you got a W-2. When you get paid, say you get paid twice a month, right? If you take your paycheck amount and you times it by 24, right? 2 times a month, 12 months a year. Take your paycheck amount, times it by 24. Is that anywhere close to the salary that you were promised? And the answer is no. And if it is, unless you're using some creative strategy, you should probably get that checked out, because otherwise you might owe Uncle Sam a lot of money. But it's nowhere close. In fact, the average American's biggest cost, where most of their money goes, is taxes. And it's not just income tax, it's sales tax, it's property tax, right? It's Social Security, it's all these things. You're getting a lot of money. And when you're a W-2 employee, that money, you never see it. It comes straight out. You pay the government first, and then you get paid second. So I'm getting really sidetracked here, but I want to hammer this home, the importance of this, because a lot of us, ask yourself right now, how much money am I paying in taxes? And a lot of people cannot answer that question because it's automatically deducted. And what that means, it's automatically withheld. And what that means is that you never see it, right? Out of sight, this is what we learned in the Marine Corps, out of sight, out of mind, right? So if you never see the money, it's like it was never there to begin with. As a business owner, as a real estate investor, which is owning a business, you get that money first. And then you make your deductions, which hundreds, if not thousands, depending on your business structure, compared to a mere 15 to 20 possible deductions. Most people just take one, the standard deduction, right, for a non-business owner. And then we get taxed. So we get paid now and then taxed later if there's anything left to tax. So all that being said, your biggest expense in life, especially if you're a W-2 employee without having any sort of side business, your biggest expense in life is taxes, period. That is a fact. That is a fact. Now, my friend, his name's Nate, and his wife Tabitha, again, 2 mentors of mine. They bought this motel. $3,000 a month. That's how much additional money is in his pocket, okay? That's $36,000 per year, all right? In addition to that, and this is their first year after doing this strategy, they got a $20,000 return at the end of the year, all right? So that's $56,000 that they used to have to pay in for taxes that they now got back in their pocket. Amazing, right? Now, I'm not saying you're going to get $56,000. It depends on your specific situation. This is a high income earner, so he was paying a lot of money in taxes because he made a lot of money at his day job. And it required him owning a $1.2 million motel. But if you get into real estate and you start buying these large assets, this strategy might work for you. And so the strategy is called cost segregation. It's a way of taking the value of your asset, and where normally you would deduct that over 27 and a half years if it's residential, now you might be able to deduct that in 5 years. And hey, Devara, I appreciate you checking me out here. I'm doing great. How are you doing today? Hope you're getting something of value out of this talk. Feel free to put any questions here as well. Yeah, and instead of paying all that money, he's getting $56,000 back. I mean, what would that do for your life? Imagine that. So exercise, homework. If you're interested in this, I would encourage you to go look at your last pay stub, right? Or go look at your W-2 from last year and see how much money you paid in taxes that you never saw. It just immediately got taken out of your paycheck. Imagine what your life could look like if that money, even half that money, even a quarter of that money, was not taken out of your paycheck because you used some creative real estate strategy like this. So that's your homework for today. And then come back and ask me questions about this. And if I can't help you, I will ping my buddy. And because I haven't personally used this yet, but because it's so powerful, I just hired a new CPA and he's looking into this for all of my properties. So there's a lot of ins and outs to it. Again, it depends on your specific situation, but extremely powerful tool. So I want you to think about that. What difference would that make in your life? All right. So I'm going to sign off for tonight. Thank you, Devara, for listening in. Hope you have a good night. Everyone watching, hope you have a great night, great day, whatever time it is. You can rewatch us as many times as you wish, but I want to hammer this home because a lot of people just, they let that money go. And then a lot of people, right, play the victim. They say, why am I paying all this money in taxes and the rich aren't? Well, the rich are using the tax code to their benefit, right? Why don't you do the same thing? Start a side hustle. Invest in real estate. It doesn't have to be real estate, but there's a lot of options out there for you. And I encourage everyone listening to take control of your life. Do what you got to do, man. You live one life. Do what you got to do to make that life the best life possible. Create the life you want. Make it a life that you live by design, not a life that your employer is forcing you to do. Not limiting your income to what your boss says you're worth, right? Do you think you're worth more than you're getting paid, right? Instead of complaining about, I'm not making enough money to pay rent, right? Flip that around and ask yourself, are you worth more? And if you are, then you need to demand that of yourself. And if that's not from your employer, then maybe you got to start a side hustle. So, all right, that's it for tonight, everyone. Hope you have a great night.